spectrum, there are many ways to solve the spectrum. I don't believe you can, as a group, you think about the way that's the same with the book of the answer of the author of this book, right? Don't even look at the answer book for this one. I just give you clean spectrum because the spectrum on this from this book are very clean. Up to now I receive 2 emails about the group, how many people form a group. Only 2 groups. All the others you guys want me to assign groups to you guys, or you take the chance to form your own group, because you guys know your classmates better than me, right? Like before, of course, there are some students, those students that do exist, and they can be in a group. They never speak, never contribute. That happens. Like I'm the person like that. During my postdoc training, we have a whole group around 40 people. They have 5 subgroups. For every subgroup, every month we have a task, the nature products task. My boss draw nature products for 5 groups. Each group work independently to propose a pathway to make those molecules. And nobody wants me because my organic chemistry is really poor. I'm inorganic chemist. My organic is really poor. Nobody wants me in that group because I never talk. Because, you don't want to tell something wrong, right? It's more safe to keep silent. But later on they find, okay, if I don't talk, it's still okay, I can present. I don't contribute to the projects. I don't contribute any knowledge because I don't know the organic reactions they are talking about. Okay, later on, all other group members, they want me. They appreciate my contribution. Silent. And later on, you say, okay, Xiaojun, you can present. You don't need to contribute the knowledge, but we find the reactions and you present. Then I'm always present the project. Sometimes you don't need to talk, but you need to talk in front of audience. If you don't talk to the group, you talk to the audience. The same when you sign your group. For some students, they don't contribute that much to the projects. You guys have to ask him or her to present here. Because otherwise, everyone has maximum 10 points for the grade, right? You cannot just don't do anything. Okay, this is the 2 book for this those module. This is the second slide I show in the first lecture. This is the first slide. This is the second slide. I hope everybody close your eyes. You know how these 2 books looks like. Okay, one is blue, one is deep blue. Both are blue, right? There are another 3 or 4 books. They are all blue. I don't know why. For spectroscopy, they are all blue. Okay, now this is the last technique we will talk about in this module. The first 2D technology we talk about is proton-proton cozy spectrum. That tells you which 2 protons couple to each other. They can be 2 bond correlate J2, J3. In some molecules, they can be J4, J5, even J7, something like that. At that time, I did ask one question. anything similar to carbon, like you have carbon-carbon correlation. Indeed, they have this technique. Carbon-carbon causing. They can tell you, the only tells you which two carbons are next to each other. Not 2 bond or 3 bond away, only 1 bond away. Even though it's 1 bond away, it's a very useful technique because it directly gives you the information what you need, especially for large molecule assignment. This technique is, the name is inadequate. And it's, the name is really beautiful name, and it's, you see, incredible nature abundance double quantum transfer experiments. From the first word, incredible, you see how powerful this 2D technique is. But you know, once they are very, very useful, and they have a very, very serious, severe limitation. Now for this technique provides direct connectivity for carbon-carbon. From the first part of this module, we see for proton-1, they are very high in nature abundance, right? That's why for 2 proton, they can be close to each other. The chance is very high. But for carbon, most of the carbon is carbon-12. They are not NMR active. Only carbon-13 are NMR active. Unfortunately, they only have about 1.1% of carbon is carbon-13. You know, you just think 100 carbons, there is only about 1 carbon-13. For example, you have 1 molecule with 200 carbons. By statistics, they have 2 carbon-13. You imagine for these large molecules with 200 carbons, for those 2 carbon-13, they next to each other, what's the chance? Very, very small. 0.0001. That means if you have molecules around 200 carbons, the 2 carbon-13 next to each other, the chance is 1 molecule out of 10,000. You see, for those ones, it's very, very difficult. Sometimes it doesn't matter what happens, those 2 carbon-13s are never close to each other. You're missing some signals, always. Like that's why for this technique, they are very useful, but they have this limitation. The chance to detect this carbon-13 correlation is very, very low. But in that case, to overcome this limitation, they need more concentrated samples, more experiment time. To make sure your sample is concentrated enough for this technique, you just need to prepare very concentrated sample. You take 1 carbon-13 NMR. Just with a single scan, you get a well-resolved carbon-13. That's a good indication you can use your sample for inadequate analysis. If you have 2 or 3 scans, you get a very beautiful carbon. I doubt it is possible. Even though this is very useful, but for nature product synthesis, normally they don't use this. Nature product synthesis, you conduct a series of reactions around 30 steps. From kilos of starting material, in the end you end up with 2 milligrams. Then what you can do? You know, there is one story about one very famous professor in organic synthesis, nature product synthesis, Gilbert. That's one from Washington, University of Washington. Last year he published his last paper before he passed away. He's 95 years old. He passed away on October 25th or 22, I cannot remember clearly. And in 1 month before he passed away, he published his last paper in Organic Letters. It's a long synthesis of One Nature products. He retired like 15 years ago. He's a really old-fashioned organic chemist. He did experiment together with his wife in the lab after his retirement for 15 years to finalize One Nature product. And in the end, he didn't finish. And he submitted the paper to Journal of American Chemical Society. And the associate editor, I don't know who handled that manuscript, rejected it directly without sending it out for review. And just a rumor, this is later on the editor-in-chief of that journal is very angry with that associate editor. Then after rejection, and he submitted his paper to Ogletter. Mr. Smith is the editor-in-chief, and he's really happy. He said he was very happy to publish his last paper in his whole career in Ogletters. Then that paper eventually get published in Ogletter, and you can read that paper and the last paper of Gilbert Stock, Professor Gilbert Stock. You can, if you're interested, you can find it out. In the last part of his paper, he writes, I know this, I didn't finalize these molecules, but I'm at age of 95. I don't want to start from the beginning again, because at the moment I didn't get enough product to proceed for the last step. That means for nature product synthesis, sometimes it's very time consuming, and it can go from beginning after 30 or 20 steps to get the second last step. You need to have enough material. But he said it's a pity he cannot have time to finalize the molecule, the synthesis of that molecule. Then just 1 month later, he passed away, and he's a very, 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 very good organic chemist. He's one of the founders of modern organic part. And Gilbert Stock, a very, very famous organic chemist. He just passed away with regrets because he didn't finalize the last one. He spent 15 years on one molecule together with his wife. It's a sad story, but that means if you are really interested in chemistry, you need to do experiments. Like this, this is a long story, but sorry to, we were far away from this. And now just for this one, it's a useful technique, but very, very unpractical. Because you need a lot of compound to conduct this 2D analysis. But I will show you how powerful it is. And this inadequate together with DPT, they can get the skeleton of organic molecules. Because DPT, tells you which carbon is CH, CH2, CH3, or quaternary carbon, right? DPT carbon together, they can tell 4 different carbons, CH, CH2, CH3, or quaternary carbon, right? And then inadequate, they can tell you which carbon connect to which carbon. Altogether, you will get a skeleton of one molecule. We just take an example of this nature product. This one you have a large quantity in nature. So then you can use this with those 2 techniques, you get the skeleton of this molecule. Now this is the DPT90. In this case, you see there are 3 CH. Now it's 9, 5, and 1. 1, 5, 9 is a CH. Now they have 1, 2, 3. They have 3 CH3 is this one, and this one. Then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 CH2. From this one is 5 CH2. And here they have another sp2 CH2. It's this CH2. Then they have one more quaternary carbon. That's 2 actually. One is this one. The other one is this. They have 2 quaternary carbons. 8 is here because for those molecules there are only 2 sp2ch. One is here, the other one is here. You know this is CH2, this is quaternary carbon. Now you can assign this signal to carbon 8. This is very clear with 100% certainty. 8 is this one. Then this sp2ch is 13, right? Now from this we can tell each signal is carbon, CH, CH2 or CH3. That's all the information we can get from DPT and carbon 13. And we also have some preliminary assignment. Like we know the carbon with the highest chemical shift is this carbon. And the second one is another sp2ch. It's here, this is CH2. From this we get this information. We start with that. This is how the inadequate looks like. Inadequate, not like a proton-proton correlation. They have a diagonal line, but this one they don't have a diagonal line. How to read this? It's read in this way. This is carbon NMR. You draw one line. Under each carbon signal, there are spots. You draw one line. For example, this 8, carbon 8 is here. You draw one line down. You have 1, 2, 3. You have 3 spots. That means this carbon 8 connect with 3 more carbons. This one, this one, this one. Of course, they draw one diagonal line here. It's not like HH cozy. This diagonal line is just a diagonal line, no spots on the diagonal line. You see, now you draw one line along 8. You see 3 more spots. Through this diagonal, you see you draw horizontal lines. They cross with this one, these spots. Then symmetrically along these spots, not diagonal. Diagonal line for cozy, you get one spot here, the other spot is here, because this is symmetrical along the diagonal line. But for this inadequate, it's a diagonal line, then you draw a horizontal line, then you have a cross here, then these spots and these spots, they are symmetrically distributed along this cross point. Not like here, but they are here. Now you draw one line, there are 3 spots. You tell this carbon 8 connect with 3 carbons. Then you draw 3 horizontal lines, you get the other part, symmetrically distribute the other 3 spots. Now you see this one is a CH2, carbon 13 is a CH2, that means the carbon 8 will connect with this CH2, that's 13 here, right? Now carbon 8 also connect with this signal. One is CH, one is CH2. In that case, you cross those 2 spots, you draw 2 vertical lines. One is here, CH is 9. You see 9 is CH. Here is a CH2, carbon 8 connected to this CH2 is here, 8 connect to this CH is here, then connected with another CH2 is carbon 7. You draw another vertical line, you see there is one more it's 7. This signal goes to 7. This is how to read this. You identify one peak, you draw one vertical line, you saw many spots. Maximum, 4 spots, right? You have spots, you draw vertical line. Actually, for vertical line, it doesn't matter there is one diagonal lot or not. You have another counterpart. You have draw one horizontal line across each one, you will have another part. This one, this is here, this line is here. They just this spots and this spots, there is one line, they cross with this diagonal, and this one symmetrically on these spots. This is how you read it. Now one line, it goes here, the other spot goes here, the other spot goes here. Across this one, you draw 3 vertical lines again that will corresponding to another 3 carbon signals. That means this carbon connected with this signal, and this carbon, right? Now, from this we can assign this one 7 and 9, right? Now we start with one is 9, one is 7, because for 13 this is the terminal. You cannot go any further. Now from 9 and 7 we go further, right? We start with 9, then we draw across the 9 signal, we draw one vertical line. You see, one is here, the other spot is here, right? Then you find this spots on the other side of diagonal line that it corresponding to here, right? This one, there is another part, is here. You draw one line, one vertical line across these spots and one across these spots. You will find this one is a CH. This 9 connect with 2 more carbons. One is 10, one is 1. 10 is CH2. Now this one you see CH2. Now this one is 10. The other one is here. It's a CH. You see CH. This one is 1, right? Now this signal belongs to 1. From 9, you can assign 1 and 10. Now we start with 1. 1 is here. 1, you draw one line. There are 3 spots, 1, 2, 3. But this one we use it already. It's connected with 9, right? We only have 2 new spots. We find the other part is here, the other part here. This part is a quaternary carbon, right? Quaternary carbon is 11. So you say this one is 11. You see quaternary carbon, they connect with 4 carbons. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. For CH, they connect with 3 carbons. 1, 2, 3, they have 3 spots. This quaternaries have 1, 2, 3, because this one is if you see one more, this one 1, 2, 3. Quaternary, where is this quaternary? Later on we will find out where is this one connect. Now we find 11, and this one connect with 1 carbon, that's 11. The other part is CH2. CH2 is 2, right? You find signal 2. Now we look at, maybe we look at 11. 11, they connect with 1 and 10, we find it already. Now we need to find out 14 or 15. You see, this is 1, this is 11, this is 1, this is 10. Now there are 2 more. One is here, right? The other one is here. This one is a CH2, CH3. This is also CH3. In that case, this one and this one, they are either 14 or 15. We cannot tell which one is which, right? Now for 14 and 15 is terminal. We don't look at this anymore. Now we look at 2, because 2, they have extension. Now we look at 2, you draw, there's 1 spot, 2 spots. 2, 1 spot, it goes to 1, we sign already. Now we go to a new one, 2 is here, a new one is here. It's a CH2. Then that's this 3, right? This signal is 3. Now we start with 3, we should be able to find 4, right? 3 is here, we draw a line. 1 spot here, the other spot here. 1 spot, it goes to 2. We use this spot already. Now we go to this part, the other direction. 3, next connect to this one. This one goes to a quaternary carbon, right? Then it's 4. Now this one is 4. Now we know why for quaternary carbon 4, they have 1, 2, 3 spots, because you have 1 oxygen there, right? Now we start with 4. 4, you see 1, 2, 3. 4, they have 1, 2, 3. Then you see 4 connected with 1 CH3. CH3 is 12, so this one is 12. Then it goes to another CH. CH is 5, right? This one is CH, then you find this is 5. Now for 12 is a terminal, we stop at this point, then we go to 5. Now we start with 5. You see 5 can go to 2 spots, either this one or this one. For 4, we use it already. Now we find 5 connected to another carbon, then it's a CH2. You see it should be 6. Then you get this one is 6. Now what is missing, you find all. You get all the connectivities. Just based on the carbon and inadequate, you can sign all. Or you can, if you don't have this, you draw, then eventually you will get this structure. This is very useful one, but very difficult to conduct because they need more sample, very, very concentrated sample. Also, they need longer experiment time. Of course, if you are interested, there are some examples in the textbook for this inadequate, as I will not test on the inadequate. For the first time, I give one more example in tutorial on this inadequate, but later I remove it because this one is so easy. You can readily find the connectivity. That's why I will not test on this, but I hope you know this technique, how useful you also should realize how useful this technique is. At the same time, you also should be aware what's the limitation for this method. Till now we finish all the 2D techniques. There are 4 that's very important to organic chemists. That's cozy, proton-proton cozy, HMQC, 1-bond CH correlation. Then you have HMBC, that's 2-bond, 3-bond correlation. Then you have HH nosy, that can help to determine radioisomer or stereoisomer. Only 4 will be tested in the final. Cozy, HMQC, HMBC, nosy. From now on, we will do practice. During lecture time, or during tutorial time, and during the project time. All about practice. I hope we spend much time on practice, you will know how those 4 methods works together. They always work together to help you to do assignment or find a structure of organic compound. Okay, thank you for coming and thank you for your attention. We finish, and next Monday we have a tutorial. I upload the tutorial 4 already and spend time to work on it. It's a 2D NMR analysis. Yeah, for the tutorial, no longer split anymore, because I hope everybody can be there. I don't want to the same tutorial twice. In that, if we split, we have less time. In that case, everybody have the same time. We can, have more time for tutorial.